Hi, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for taking a few minutes, and congratulations on your commitment to Villanova, man. What was the recruiting process like?
It was definitely a long process. There was many schools that I took into account, and Villanova was the best choice for me. So,
what did it ultimately come down to in terms of selecting a school? I mean, there's a lot to consider in terms of not only the football but the education, the campus.
There was a whole lot that went behind it. I mean, the biggest was athletically. I felt like it was the best fit for me because it's at the Division I AA, and I felt like that would be the best area for me to progress as a kicker and to really hone my craft in that division. I feel like I can do very well there. Academically, I felt like it was a great fit. I mean, it's a very prestigious school, and it's very high honor to go there. And, there was a lot of other things that went behind my choice going there as well. It's very close to home, which is pretty awesome. I know a lot of people there, and it's a well-rounded school, really.
Plus, you get to go to some pretty cool basketball games.
Oh, yeah, that is true. It would be awesome. And I think the biggest thing for me picking Villanova over any other school was that it's a lot like my school at St. Augustine Prep. It's a lot of the same values and things like that are similar that I think I can really adapt to and really do well at. So Villanova was just a great choice for me overall over any other school. So.
Now, Nate, Cole and I were talking early in the show about the St. Augustine Prep football program. Obviously, there's been a little bit of a shakeup with the new coaching staff and a couple of your star players transferring to other schools. What's the mood around the team? I mean, obviously, you're losing Josh Amott, quarterback, and Kyle Dobbins, running back, two of South Jersey's best players, but that kind of opens up some chances for some new guys, right?
Yeah, it is tough losing those players, but I don't think the mood of the team has changed. I think we're still a very hungry team, and I think we're still going to do very well this year with what we have. And I think there's a lot of young guys who have a lot of skill who can really fill in those spots to help us become a better team. And I think our coaching staff is great, and I'm really excited for this year.
Nate, I was talking to one of your boys, Zeke Ennis, at the Taliaferro Classic. Real cool kid, man. He must be fun to be around. Tell me about him and how much he meant to your guys' team as a leader and just a great guy to be around.
Oh yeah, he really is. I love Zeke. He's a very talented guy, and he was a great leader for our team. And I'm really happy for him going to Sacred Heart. I'm really proud of him. It was a really awesome achievement for him, and he's a very good player.
Now, Nate, let's talk a little bit of kicking. Obviously, there's been some great kickers the past couple of years in the Cape Atlantic League. Mike Giuliano set the league record with field goals made, and then you had Cade Antonucci, who just graduated from Holy Spirit. He's going down to Auburn on a track scholarship, and I know you're one of those guys that works with Jim Cooper in five-star kicking academy, and it really seems like there's been some outstanding kickers. Christian Ireland over at Egg Harbor Township. How cool is that when you have all these great kickers in South Jersey? You guys can kind of compete against each other a little bit, and I'm sure you see these guys at various camps.
Oh yeah, it's awesome competing with the best. I've seen them all before, and we all train together, and it's pretty awesome to be trained by the same guy. It really is. It's fun when we all show up and compete because you really get to see the best and you get to compete against the best. So it's pretty awesome seeing these guys around and being friends with all of them.
Also, Zach Sturr from Absegami. I mean, there's a lot of great kickers around here. Who's got who's got the Jim Cooper record for longest field goal?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I know there's been a lot of long field goals in the 60s range. I will say that, though.
Wow. What's the longest field goal you've ever kicked? Just in practice, working out.
Just in practice, it was actually at a Rowan Field. I had a 65-yard field goal.
Really?
It was with some wind, though.
A wind-aided 65. All right. Got to quantify that, right?
Yeah.
What's Nate? What's the toughest thing about being a kicker? That's a lot to deal with mentally. I mean, you could be in a big game, a real tough situation, maybe a playoff game, and man, if you miss that field goal, that's tough on you mentally as a teenager. You know, you got all the entire crowds there and hoping you can make that field goal. How do you handle that kind of pressure?
You know, that definitely is the harder part of the game. I really do feel like when you get very good at kicking, I really truly believe the mental side is more important than the physical side, because just how you feel is really how you're going to perform. And, you know, what helps me a lot in those big pressure situations for camps, for games, and things like that, I actually have a sports psychologist that I talk to. It really helps me to get through some of those, you know, very pressure-filled situations.
I was actually just about to ask you about that, because I know other guys have implemented sports psychologists, even at the high school level. And how do you view that? I mean, some people say, oh, you know, maybe that shows a sign of weakness, but I think it really shows a sign of progressive thinking to say, hey, I know this is a pressure situation. Let me find out better ways to deal with it.
I mean, it's just another way to better yourself. I mean, why would you not want to get better at another phase of the game is how I look at it. So getting better at every phase and everything for me is very important. I feel like the mental side is definitely one of the most important things being a kicker for me, and I think for all kickers.
Talk with Nate Fondacaro, rising senior at St. Augustine Prep, one of the best place kickers in South Jersey. Nate, if there's some parents out there or some young guys out there listening who want to be kickers, what would your advice be on how to become a good kicker, and what kind of commitment do you have to make to that specific skill?
It's definitely a big commitment. I'm going to say the biggest thing is obviously to work hard, because it really does beat talent. I wasn't the most talented guy or the biggest guy, so that didn't really help me. I had to outwork people, and I was really committed to doing it, and I was very dedicated, and I think that's really what got me by, was that drive every day to wake up and want to get better is really what's going to get you better at this game. So that's what my advice would be to the younger guys.
Great advice, Nate. Hate to cut you short here, but we got to get on with our second hour of the show. We really appreciate you taking a few minutes, and we'll be checking in with you soon as we get closer to the high school football season. Thanks, bud.
All right, thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Good luck at Villanova.
Thank you.
That was Nate Fondacaro, outstanding young man from St. Augustine Prep, and you're definitely going to want to watch his career unfold as he's got some big things ahead of him.